All right, thank you guys. Happy Sunday to you. Now, we got ourselves a very short, kind of modified slate of NBA action here today. And all the games are early because of the big game in the NFL. But if you really end up enjoying this video here today, please feel free to give it a thumbs up by smashing that like button. And if you're new here and you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please feel free to do that right now as well. I greatly appreciate it. Now, for those who don't already know, my name is Brock Page, and I do sports picks for free right here on YouTube. And if you want to know what all of my picks are for this video right now, you can actually locate them in my quick pick recap at the end of the video. There's actually a link for the quick pick recap in the comments section below. It's pretty much every pick for this video wrapped up in about 15 seconds. But if you want to stick around here, guys, I'd love to have you. And we got a couple games here to break down, so we're going to have some fun here in the next, I would say 7 to 10 minutes. With that, let's go ahead and start. Wizards, Hornets, 1 p.m. Eastern start time in Charlotte. The Washington Wizards are minus 1.5 on the road here. Totals 235, juice to the over. And if you like the Hornets in a slight upset at home here, they're plus 105 on the money line. And despite a bit of a rough patch here over the past couple of days, we're still hitting at 62% in our last 13 daily best plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to access today's daily best play, it's only going to cost you just $1.99 when you click the link in the description section below. We're also 10-6 in our last 16 $1.99 daily best plays in that same category as well. Now, if you're curious, you can actually check out my complete Patreon record absolutely free right now. It's actually located on that Patreon homepage. And if you want to join the community of over 1,175 paid members who are signed up and active on that site, link for that page is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. Now, the Hornets have covered the number in 4 out of their last 5 ball games. Covers against the likes of Philadelphia and Milwaukee during that stretch. Charlotte's won their last 6 straight hosting the Wizards, and they rank in the top 10 defensively in fourth quarter points allowed. Now, Devontae Graham will be sitting out here today with a groin injury. P.J. Washington's also questionable. Having said that, though, we're still looking at Gordon Hayward, who's scoring 23 points a game for Charlotte, 6 rebounds and 4 assists for the 6'7" forward. Meanwhile, Terry Rozier is scoring over 18 a night himself, along with 4 rebounds and 3 assists as well. Now, they're taking on a Washington team who lost 6 out of their last 8 themselves, and they also successfully covered the number in just 25% of those contests. Washington is just 2-7 straight up on the road this season, and they also rank dead last in points allowed. The Wizards give up over 121 points per game. Now, total-wise, Washington's last 2 straight both stayed under the number. 5 out of their last 8 also stayed under the line. Meanwhile, the Charlotte Hornets, on the other side of things, they are 7-5 to the under at the Spectrum Center this season themselves. I'm going to lean toward the underdog Charlotte Hornets plus 1.5 and the under 235. And before we go ahead and move on here, guys, if you're new to the channel here this week, just want to take another quick time out and welcome you to the video. Got some lines and personal leans out for Sunday's NBA basketball action. Happy Sunday to you. Hopefully you guys are having an outstanding weekend, and hopefully you have big plans here today for the big game Sunday. I know that I'm going to be doing some good eating, if you can't tell already. But definitely got some good plans here today for the big game, and pretty big bet on the sides in that one. But anyway, before we dive into some more free content right here on YouTube, I just have to quickly remind you once again that we are hitting at 62% in our last 13 $1.99 daily best plays on patreon.com/BrockPage. And if you want to access today's daily best play, it's only $1.99 when you click the link in the description section below. We're also 10-6 straight up in our last 16 picks in that very same category. And just remember, guys, when you sign up for a membership on Patreon, you're going to get access to all the lesser expensive memberships absolutely free. Patreon's going to bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. And for those who are wondering what the difference is between my free picks here on YouTube and my Patreon site, what I do on Patreon is I make life a lot easier for you as I break down the daily card and focus in typically on just 4 to 5 premium selections per day. They're my personal plays, games that I personally have action on, and I'll tell you this much, I'm having a lot more success betting on games that way in smaller sample sizes versus wagering on every single game on the slate, side and total, like I do here with my free leans on YouTube. Now, we do currently have a community of over 1,175 paid members who are signed up and active on that site. And if you want to join those folks and get in on the action, link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, that's patreon.com/BrockPage. And moving on here, guys, we're going to dive into some more NBA action. I believe it's, 4 more games we got to break down here. So our next game, it is going to be Jazz versus the Pacers, 1 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Indy. The Utah Jazz are -5 on the road. Totals 224 juice to the over. Utah's on a 3-game winning streak, 9-1 straight up in their last 10. Utah's also winning 75% of their road games, and they successfully covered the number in 8 out of those 12 contests. Now, the Jazz are first in the NBA in offensive rebounding, top 3 in shooting the 3-ball. Utah's averaging 115 points a game. And despite Mike Conley being ruled out with a hammy, Jordan Clarkson's still scoring 18 points a night along with 4 rebounds and a couple assists. Meanwhile, shooting guard Donovan Mitchell is scoring nearly 24 points a game himself along with 4 rebounds and 5 assists. The Jazz are also in the top 5 in defensive rebounding as well, and they also find themselves allowing just 106 points per game. They're taking on a Pacer team who lost 4 out of their last 5, and they've gone just 30% against the number in their last 10. Indiana's in the bottom 3 in offensive rebounding, and they rank dead last in defending the 3-ball. Now, total-wise, 3 out of Indiana's last 4 got over the posted number. They're also 70% to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, 3 out of Utah's last 4 got over the line themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Utah Jazz -5 in the over 224. All right, next contest, it is going to be Heat versus the Knicks, and that's going to be a 1 p.m. Eastern start time at MSG. The Miami Heat are -5.5 on the road. Numbers 212 juice to the under. Miami's coming fresh off a 27-point victory over Washington. They held one of the best scoring teams in the league to just 95 total points in that game. And despite most of their injuries, in the start of the 2021 season here, the Heat still ranks in the top 10 in defensive field goal percentage. Bam Adebayo scoring 20 points a night for Miami, 9 rebounds and 5 assists for the starting center. Meanwhile, Jimmy Butler scoring over 18 a game himself, along with 7 rebounds and 6 assists as well. The Miami Heat's in the top 5 defensively in third quarter points allowed. So if you're into prop betting, that certainly might be something to look into, in addition to all your Super Bowl props here today. But anyway, Miami's taking on a Knicks team who lost 5 out of their last 8, and they ranked dead last in the NBA in scoring. The Knicks are averaging just 102 points a game, and they rank in the bottom 10 in shooting the 3-ball. Now, total-wise, 5 out of the Knicks' last 10 meetings with Miami did manage to get over the number. Meanwhile, the Heat's currently 5-4 to the over when they travel themselves. I'm going to lean toward the Miami Heat -5.5 and the over 212. All right, next matchup, it is going to be Celtics versus the Suns, 2 p.m. Eastern tip-off in Phoenix. Now, the Phoenix Suns are -2.5 at home, numbers 217 and a hook. The Suns have won 4 out of their last 5 ball games, 4-1 against the number in those contests. The Suns rank in the top 3 defensively in points allowed at home, top 3 in defending the 3-ball in that same category. Devin Booker scoring over 23 points a night for the Suns, 3 rebounds and 4 assists for the 6'5 shooting guard. Meanwhile, Chris Paul is getting over 16 points a night himself, along with 5 rebounds and 9 assists. The Suns are allowing just 105 points per contest on their home court. They're taking on a Boston team who lost 3 out of their last 5, and they're going to have to go to work today without Jaylen Brown. He's responsible for nearly 27 points a game for the Celtics. Now, Boston is in the bottom 10 in offensive rebounding on the road. They're also in the bottom 10 in road defensive field goal percentage. When it comes to the total in this one, Boston is 2-0 to the over in their last couple of games, 7-6 to the over on the road. Meanwhile, the Suns saw 2 out of their last 3 get over the line themselves, Of course, throwing out the Detroit game, I'm going to lean toward the Phoenix Suns minus 2.5 and the over 217 and a hook. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our next and final matchup for the show. It is going to be Kings versus the Clippers, 3 p.m. East. The LA Clippers are the 8.5 point favorite on their home court here. Totals 228.5. And if you like the Kings in an upset on the road here, they're plus 285 for some money line cash. Sacramento is a perfect 7-0 against the spread in their last 7 ball games, 6-1 straight up in those contests. The Kings are covering nearly 70% of their road games this year, and they're in the top 10 in offensive field goal percentage. De'Aaron Fox is scoring over 22 points a night, 3 rebounds, 7 assists for the starting point guard. Meanwhile, Harrison Barnes is scoring 18 points a game himself, along with 6 rebounds and 4 assists as well. Now they're taking on a Clippers team who failed to cover the number in 2 out of their last 3, and they actually went just 1-2 straight up in those 3 ball games. Big piece to this segment here, guys. Paul George is out today for the Clippers. Patrick Beverley's still out as well. LA's covered just 5 out of 11 home games this season, and they rank in the bottom half of the league in offensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, LA's 4-2 to the under in their last 6 games with Sacramento. Meanwhile, 2 out of Sacramento's last 3 contests stayed under the line themselves. Of course, throwing out the Denver game, I'm going to lean toward the underdog Sacramento Kings plus 8.5 and the under 228 and a hook. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into our quick pick recap. Once again, brought to you by patreon.com/BrockPage, where we are hitting at 62% in our last 13 $1.99 daily best plays on that site. I like the Hornets plus 1.5 under 232. Jazz minus 5 over 224. Miami Heat minus 5.5 over 212. Phoenix Suns minus 2.5 over 217 and a hook. And before I give you our next and final matchup here for the show, one final reminder that you can access today's $1.99 daily best play by clicking the link in the description section below. Please give this video a thumbs up right now if you ended up enjoying it. Please feel free to subscribe right now if you haven't done so already. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the underdog Sacramento Kings plus 8.5 and the under 228 and a hook. And with that, guys, we're going to dive into some shout-outs to our top 10 YouTube commenters over the past couple of past couple of days or so. And speaking of games, shout out to LeBron Games, Gino Estep, New York FCK, Michael Maresca, Leslie Boateng, Christian Pearson, Cactus Jake, Navrakan Sandhu, George Sylvia, and last but certainly not least, gotta give a shout out to Tina Grande. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on Patreon. If you guys decide to get a package here today, just keep in mind we'll bill you the day you sign up and then the first of every month following that. So your membership is good until the end of February. Once again, if you sign up for a package, you're going to get billed today, and then you're going to have access to that particular content through the end of February. Also want to give you a reminder, if you sign up for a package here today, just keep in mind that all the cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. So, for example, if you get the $9.99 package here today, all the cheaper memberships are included with your purchase. So you're going to get access to all that all those lesser expensive tiers. But most importantly, guys, gotta thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. And with that said, happy Sunday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.